I gave my team 3 takeaways from the match. The first one was the role playing. Our serving subs going in, serving tough, and then getting digs and playing defense. Avery going in and getting a stuff block after 20 in that third set's really big. Bailey having to set when Ray comes out for Avery, and we executed in those areas really well when those players came on the floor, and those are things that the teams have to do if they want to be able to be successful. The second one was we didn't let the NAIT serving runs affect how we were mentally. We knew that they were going to serve tough, as they usually always do, and they got their fair share of aces, but it didn't hinder our team morale on the floor. People didn't start turning negative and getting upset because they weren't playing well or weren't doing things well. They battled through it, and we were able to side out. And then the third one was our play around 20 and after 20 in sets 1 and 3 when things were tight. We kind of played it at the next gear with we played with our veteran age basically. NAIT's a young team, but they're a good team. We're a good team too, and we're pretty old. So I think that showed a little bit at the end of those sets. And again, that's one of the best parts about having an older team.
I love when little things happen within games and it changes the way a game happens. So that block that you saw talked about in the third set, and as soon as I saw it, it reminded me of the national championship when you had. Did that spurn something in you, and you were like, it reminds me of that as well?
Yeah, for sure. The biggest part about last year was all the players on my team got to see what it takes to win. And it isn't just your starting lineup. You have to have support and role players that are able to go in and do positive things. And so at conference championships last year, Olivia was a serving sub and got a couple massive digs against Briarcrest in the quarterfinal. And I think that those plays shifted that game. In the national final, Tawny goes in and gets an ace, and then Bailey gets the stuff block to win the whole thing. All the players got to see those things, and they got to see how big of an impact that they had. And I think that's when things really clicked, and it made people really understand how important the jobs of the bench and the role players are. And that if we're going to be able to win, we have to have people that can do those jobs. And so for sure, I saw that tonight. The best part is in our meetings after the match, the starters or the players that are saying that play was so big, those plays were so big, because everybody's starting to understand what it takes. And how important it is for everybody to be able to go in and do a job and to do positive things. And for sure, that stuff blocked by Avery at whatever it was, 22-20, yeah, that probably wins us the match right there. So it's a really big play.
Lastly, what do you say to these girls? And I asked Haley this. What do you say to these girls before every match? It's an undefeated team. It seems like they can do no wrong. What are you saying to them?
We keep talking about trying to be the best team that we can be every match and every point. Again, not chasing the scoreboard, not looking at the scoreboard. I said we don't want to be worried about winning, and we definitely don't want to be thinking about not losing. All our focus needs to be is on being the best team that we can be each night and each point. Again, the undefeated part, we've put no emphasis on that whatsoever, because at the end of the day, going undefeated, it doesn't matter. That's not what we need to reach our goals. So it's about us just being the best that we can be every match and keeping that as the focus. This week we talked about the word complacency, and just not being okay with just getting a job done, or within a game, which we saw against Grand Prairie, we would get up big and then we just kind of relax and be like, yeah, okay, we're going to beat this team. But then they came back. It happened in both the sets that we lost in Grand Prairie, where we were up big and then we just kind of took a break, and then Grand Prairie went off for a bunch of points. And so we got to see that happen. And so we talked about that this week, about what kind of team we want to be and what we need to do each night. And so we're trying to keep that as the focus each match.